Hey y'all, Dave Vascos here, getting back to the attic renovation. Today I want to talk to you about drywall and problems you'll run into or you might run into doing your attic, especially if you have sloped ceilings, which you probably do. These are things you're going to have to deal with, and there are ways to make it easier. So if you're going to have to drywall your attic renovation, your attic bedroom, you might want to stay tuned for this episode. Thanks for watching. All right, first thing I want to talk to you about is, if you recall, if you watched my insulating your attic ceiling, I used this 2-inch foam across, this is only a small portion of it, this came in 4x8 sheets, across the rafters here. So that's 2 inches I had to get through to get to my studs, plus the thickness of the drywall itself. So I went to the store, and all I could find were construction screws that were long enough. I needed at least 3.5 inches, I think it was, to penetrate into the rafters deep enough to hold the drywall appropriately. Well, I talked to someone at Home Depot, not an associate, just a person who looked like they knew about drywall, and they were in the screw section, and they said you can use any screws on drywall, you just can't use drywall screws on anything you want except for drywall. So I bought construction screws. Problem is, they stayed proud or they busted through. In order for them to be able to hold the drywall up without losing the holding power, I would have to leave them proud, which meant I couldn't spackle over them. It would leave a bump wherever I did. I wish I still had one to show you. And in order to get them out of the way, I had to bust through the top paper, and that was the only way I could spackle them. So I screwed the whole ceiling with construction screws. And then I found out, no, it's not gonna work. You have to use a bugle head drywall screw because the taper is so thin that it stays beneath the surface of the paper while still not tearing through the paper when you screw it in. No one in my city carries these drywall screws that were long enough. Nobody had them. So I looked on the internet and I found one place that had them for a really great price, and it is called the Fastener Superstore. I'm not getting any money for that, obviously. And they had the appropriate drywall screws that were long enough. I can't remember the exact length on this. I think you need 3.5. Here's the order here. Yep, 3.5 inch drywall screws. This is what you need, 3.5 inch drywall screws. If you use the 2 inches of foam and do drywall on top of it, 1/2 inch drywall, you need to go ahead and order 3.5 inch drywall screws. And I recommend the Fastener Superstore. So that is problem number one with the drywall. Problem number two you're gonna run across is these obtuse angles. You know, these aren't 90s like you come at in a corner where you simply use your paper tape like this, which I haven't actually taped my corners yet. I've just pre-filled all the big gaps. These are big obtuse angles that are really hard to fill and hard to get straight. And in fact, this one I have had to float out about 1 inch just to get it flat. And what happens when you try to use this regular paper tape to tape the corners, the tape will end up looking all wavy because it's not a stiff tape, and it's sort of flexible once it gets moist, and it'll just sort of follow the undulations in the wall. So in order to prevent this, they have what is called, there's actually a few brands of this. I shows level line. It's actually the only thing I could find in town from my drywall supplier. And what it is a corner tape that flexes. And see, it comes out of the bottom here, and pull it out of the bottom. And it's got like a stiff, rigid backing on it. It's actually, there's some plastic in there too. I don't know if you can see shininess of the plastic. And you bend it. This side goes against the inside corner. And you flex it in there, and it has this nice dark line. So you know you're keeping a straight line. So if you see these ugly, these don't really look bad on camera, but these are pretty ugly. Some of these, let me show you up here. Like this is all pre-filled. That is that much quick set. Well, I guess you just call it quick set. I don't know. Quick set drywall, spackle, mud, whatever. And so it is really hard to get the right angle in here once you've got this mess. So I've already taped a couple of spots with this level line, and you can see that blue line down the middle? So you can see that's a nice, straight, smooth, obtuse angle, which would be very difficult to do with just regular drywall tape. And here's another one. Let's see if you can see in there. Nice, straight, as close as we can, and smooth. So, for nice straight lines on your obtuse angles drywall, level line drywall corner trim. I'm not going to show you how I did the drywall because there are much better drywallers out there. I do recommend watching the Vancouver Carpenter. I've been watching and have watched all of his videos, and that's where I'm getting all my drywall tips to do my drywall. I've done small drywall jobs, small drywall repair, tiny, nothing as large as this, and I'm using every tip he's given. So if you're interested, if you haven't done drywall before and you want a really good video series to watch the Vancouver Carpenter. He's got something for taping butt joints, corners, using a trowel instead of a knife, etc., etc. In fact, I bought trowels just to do it the way he did it. And yeah, that's about it with that. My next video is probably going to be on the air condition and heat up here. And I have chosen a PTAC, which I might have mentioned in another video. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to go right here. And that's the thermostat cable coming out there. Thermostat's going to be way over here near the entrance. Thermostat's going to be right here. And that is so that I don't get like a cold or hot zone, because it's going to be a heat pump. But what I'm going to do is put a PTAC unit in here, not a split system. I know a lot of people are using split systems. It's been the fad for a while now, especially the mini splits, but I chose a PTAC. And in the episode I do on that, if it's the next one, which I think it will be, I'm going to tell you why I chose a PTAC. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.